about my honest opinions on having a mini pig as a pet. I feel like there's not a ton of people on YouTube that have mini pigs as pets in the house, and I'll explain in a second how we even got a mini pig, because we were definitely not planning on this. This wasn't something we like researched and decided, you know, over a long period of time that we were gonna get a mini pig. It was very fast, and these are the things that I wish I knew as a beginner mini pig owner. Hi. Hello. So a little bit of background. How the heck did I get a mini pig in the first place? I have brought a lot of strange pets into this house. We have a leopard gecko, we have bunnies, and we have chinchillas. So I thought, you know, that was our exotic animals, like that was the end of it. You know, we'd probably get a dog. Another barn in the area had pretty much found this pig, and he was just running around. It was pretty much winter time. This was November. So he was lost on this farm. They were trying to catch him. They were trying to lure him in with food. And it was like days had went by that we were like pretty invested in this pig story happening a few towns away, and no one knew like whose pig it was. So when they finally caught him, they tried to figure out, you know, who the owners were. And more of the story, we kind of figured out who the owners were, and they had come back to look for him like 3 times, and then they just told the lady, like, if he shows up, we don't want him anymore, you know, like if we find him, like just keep him or do whatever you want with him. At first, Casey's family was gonna take him in, and then they were like, we don't know what we're doing, like we're not gonna take him in. They don't have like pigs or anything like that. They just have horses pretty much. So they decided they weren't gonna take him, and then this lady, like they pretty much didn't know what to do with him. Like I don't know if they were gonna put him down or like no one was gonna take care of him. So they were just gonna leave him there in the dead of, like it was getting into winter time, and Casey basically joked like, let's take him. And so I was like, no, like you're crazy. And then of course, like one day went by, and I was like, I just kept thinking about him, and I was like, you know what? Why not? Let's take the pig and like, let's just foster him. And so we took him in, fostered him, and very quickly, you know, fell in love with him, but at the same time, then very quickly, like we're already looking into ways to rehome him because it was very overwhelming. We just had no experience taking care of a mini pig, so it was very confusing. Basically, if you saw this vlog, which was my birthday vlog in December, we decided on that trip that we were probably gonna rehome him after we got back from that trip because it was like way too overwhelming. We didn't think we were gonna be able to handle it. And so we decided that we were going to rehome him when we got home. And we were pretty set on it. Fast forward like 2 weeks later, you know, we're getting used to having him in the house. And I like genuinely remember saying out loud, like he just doesn't, like it sounds bad, but like he was only subtracting from our life, and like he wasn't adding anything. I felt like we didn't like connect in any way, and I didn't even know if he was happy here. There was one day after work, and I had like just a stressful day at work, and I started to have like almost a panic attack or an anxiety attack, and I was not feeling good. So I was in bed crying, and then Sampson started having like an absolute fit because I wasn't in the same room as him, and I just started freaking out, and I was like, I cannot do this. Like I'm trying to take care of myself. I cannot take care of you. So I came out, I put him on the couch, and I sat down with him, and he literally just like came right into my arms and like nuzzled his little neck into mine. And I'm not even kidding you, like immediately that I was not having an anxiety attack, and it was like I don't know, he decided he was my emotional support animal in that moment. And I just felt like so calm and comforted, and I was like, I love you, immediately. So after that, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. Like, it's just feeling really hard because all of this is new. So we decided to keep him and learn as we go. So that is the background of how we even got a mini pig. So it was very sudden, so we kind of had to do all of the research, you know, as we literally took him home. One of the questions that goes around like all the time is how big are mini pigs? Like they show all these cute like teacup pigs, and that's definitely not what they're gonna look like forever. So when we got him in November, he was 6 pounds. It is now June of the next year, and he's about 35 pounds. So he's definitely gotten a lot bigger. And if you didn't know, mini pigs grow over the span of 5 years. So they don't grow to full size even within a year. I've heard that whatever they weigh at a year old, you can probably safely double that. And then that should be what they're gonna weigh at the end of the 5 years. I don't know if that's like true. He's 35 pounds at this point, and he's still got 6 more months to go until that halfway mark, so pray for me. The first thing we realized about Sampson very quickly is that unlike a dog, you know, that barks when someone's at the door or there's noise that they're barking at, like there's a reason why they're barking. I just assumed that that would be the same for a pig, like they wouldn't squeal or make noise unless like they were scared or there was like someone knocking at the door. Like I just figured that'd be the same. No. If you get a mini pig, please be prepared to never have peace and silence ever again. It's not that they're loud, like they can be loud, but they talk constantly. I don't know what to call like the noise that they make. Basically like part of their breathing is making noise. Like they just are constantly making noise. Unless your pig is sleeping, just prepare yourself for how much you're gonna hear them in the background. Just for example, me filming YouTube videos, I never even considered the fact that I would hear him in every single video. I also work from home most of the time, so that proved to be a very big issue as well, especially when we first got him. That was one of the reasons why I didn't think we would be able to keep him, because he's so annoying. I'm constantly on the phone for my job, so you know, I'm trying to keep it like professional and not having a screaming pig in the background. But mini pigs are said to be as smart as like a 3-year-old child, so if you're not in the room and you leave him, you know, if he's in the living room and I go into my office and shut the door to work, he will literally have a temper tantrum. So he has multiple temper tantrums a day. He flips over the bar stools, he flips over the kitchen chairs, he will flip over the plant stands. Anything he can do to like cause a ruckus so that way you'll pay attention to him, he will try. There's only so much pig proofing you can do. Like you have to have kitchen chairs. We've literally considered flipping the chairs onto the table like you would at school just so he can't get to them, but it was just like too much of a hassle. So that, you know, is another element that I just would not even consider, that he would be flipping the kitchen chairs constantly. And he does scream pretty loudly if he, you know, if he wants attention, different than like his normal breathing noises. So again, it's like having a child. He needs constant attention. So I definitely have to get creative with the different toys and like ways that I keep him busy, especially if I need to do something and need to keep him quiet. Lick mats, chew toys, and I'll like wrap food into a towel and put it on the floor, and it takes him a little bit to like unravel it and get the food. So you have to be creative with keeping their attention. One thing that is a positive is I did not expect him to be so clean. Right now, because it's the summer, he is shedding, so that's the first time he's ever like left anything around the house. Like he just doesn't make a mess. You would never know that we had a pig living in our house because he's not messy. You know, he keeps his area clean. He goes, you know, to the bathroom outside just like a dog would. Yeah, I was just surprised on how like clean pigs are. Speaking of that, his potty training, I guess, we didn't really have to potty train him. He naturally wanted to go to the bathroom outside. And as soon as we put the harness on him, and you know, he learned within days that, you know, you walk outside, you go to the bathroom. Pigs prefer to go to the bathroom like in the woods under a bush or something. So he will often drag me like into the woods under a bush, like very specific spot to go to the bathroom. Next, it doesn't seem like from my research that this is just a Sampson issue, but pigs have really dry skin. And when we first got him, we just weren't aware of that. So we thought something was like horribly wrong with him because he was so itchy. I probably have countless videos of him itching himself in weird ways. He is always itching on any surface he can possibly get to, and it's very funny. But yeah, it's just something that we weren't really expecting. So he does have to get coconut oil treatments. Casey literally massages him with coconut oil like every week, just to make sure that he can retain some moisture in his skin. And every once in a while he also gets coconut oil like on one of the lick mats, and then he also has a powder treatment that goes into his food at dinner time to try to help with his skin, and it has gotten a little bit better, but it's just kind of a constant battle, is his skin and being so itchy. Me and Casey have both found out that we are both allergic to Sampson, so we are also head to toe extremely itchy. I just wasn't expecting to be able to be allergic to a pig because they have hair, they don't have fur. And I did not even think of that as a consideration. I think it was my Easter vlog. If you watched that vlog, you saw like my eye issues I was having. I was getting these really red puffy eyes. If I'm brave, I'll put a photo here, but I might not because I was so ugly for months. We finally just found a cream that actually worked to subside the redness in my eyes, but we're both itchy head to toe 24/7, and we can't really find anything to help that so far. I do have an allergy appointment coming up to hopefully figure out if there is anything I can do. We're pretty much just as itchy as Sampson is, so that's really annoying and frustrating. Sampson also loves cuddling. He is the biggest snuggler ever. He will always want to be under a blanket, like tucked in between your legs. He will get like right up on me between, like if I'm sitting in the corner of the couch, he'll like come up and snuggle his little neck into mine, and he makes this cute little like chatter noise with his teeth when he's really happy. And every time he snuggles one of us, like he makes that little noise because he's just like in peak happiness. And that made me really happy because I just wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get a pig and he's gonna love to snuggle on the couch. Like I wasn't expecting that to be part of having a pig, but our pig is extremely loving and cuddly. He demands snuggles, and if he's not comfortable, he will let you know, and he will make you not be comfortable so he can be comfortable. Okay, this isn't going to pertain to everybody. If you do get a young pig, this is something that was very scary that happened that we did not expect, we did not have any knowledge of. So if I can help anybody else that's getting a pig to just be aware of this strange illness pigs can get. Short story time. Basically what happened was I let Sampson out to go to the bathroom one night, and he like collapsed onto the ground, and his back legs just like weren't working. He looked like he was paralyzed, and I was like immediately freaking out, crying. I literally thought he was gonna die. I just had no idea why he couldn't walk. He was fine. We were playing outside just like hours earlier. He wasn't eating any differently. He wasn't acting differently. It was just all of a sudden he could not walk, and I was like what is going on? And then the first few things I googled, of course, like told me he was gonna die. I was just freaking out, and I picked him up, I brought him back inside and told Casey. And then when he came over and saw, you know, like that he couldn't walk, we noticed that he had these almost like bruises down his entire spine. And I was like, again, we had literally just been playing with him outside, that he didn't fall. The only thing I thought he could have done was he could have jumped off the couch and like hit the coffee table. So I thought maybe he bruised like his spine from going under the coffee table, but I knew that that was probably unlikely because we would have like heard it if he hit himself that hard that he got bruises down his whole spine. So I was like Googling like bruises down mini pig spines, and one website that's been super helpful is minipiginfo.org or .com. That's been super helpful. So I discovered through Googling on this website a syndrome called dippity pig, which is the weirdest name ever. I was like, this is not real. Pretty much it said if they go through a very stressful experience, or if even it's their first time entering a new season like spring. So he was born in the winter pretty much, or the fall. So by the time we got him, it was like snowing, it was really cold. So when this happened, it was April, so it was his first spring. And then we also had a huge thunderstorm like the day or two before that scared the crap out of him. So I really don't know if it was the spring season or if it was the thunderstorm, but either way, dippity pig is this weird thing. I'll link the website below that like explains it better, but pretty much they get these marks down their spine and then they turn into like open lesions. Grosses me out, but pretty much they open and bleed, and it's terrifying because they can't walk, their back legs become paralyzed, and they're in so much pain, and they don't understand why, you know, they can't walk. And I literally just cried for like 2 days with him because every time he would try to move, he would just cry, and it was the saddest thing to watch. Finally got to a vet that could help us because it was late at night, and they had confirmed that it was, you know, most likely dippity pig, and they told us to get baby, I think it was baby Tylenol, and we, based on whatever he weighed at that time, they told us like how much to give him and how often, and we were able to treat him. And she was like, yeah, he'll be better in like 36 hours. And I was like, he's literally bleeding and can't walk. He's paralyzed. What do you mean he's just gonna get better in 3 days? And she was like, I know it's so weird, but like he's just gonna be fine. And I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. He did get better, and the medicine helped him a lot just with the pain and being able to walk, but that was horrifying and very scary. So if anybody goes through that, just know to contact your vet and see how, like what you can do for the pain, but otherwise they will be okay and they're not gonna die from it. But it definitely feels like it as a pet owner that they are gonna die from it. Whenever I was researching mini pigs, it did not come up. So just be aware that it is something that may happen if you have a young mini pig, and you're, you know, if they go through something stressful. They said it's really common in a young mini pig, so it might not happen like down the line. It might just be when they're younger, experiencing, you know, new things. Okay, last thing, I filmed a little section of us giving him a bath in case that's helpful for anybody. It's quite chaotic, but I figured I'd put it in there. The essentials you will need are earplugs. This is a non-negotiable. You need to wear earplugs or your ears will not recover. Pigs can scream so loud if they want to. He's not as bad now, but when we first got him, he would scream like we were going to kill him. They're just dramatic. They're literally fine. And so the key is earplugs, snacks for him or her, and definitely like keeping them on the ground. And if you can, you really need 2 people, one person to literally just feed them snacks the whole time, and one that's like primarily doing the washing. We just use baby shampoo, which works fine for him, and then we coat him in coconut oil afterward. But yeah, that was kind of what I've gained from 6 months of being a mini pig owner as a complete beginner. There's definitely a lot of stuff that I did not touch upon, so if you have other questions, definitely leave them below and we'll do a part 2 or, you know, another Q&A on mini pigs. I'm always looking to learn more, so if you have any resources or mini pig YouTubers or anything that you love, leave them down below because I love to meet new mini pigs and their owners. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was useful to you in some way. If you're new, I post little vlogs that often feature Sampson. Subscribe if you like to see more of him, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.
Wake up 2 p.m. I don't know where we are. Looks like